extraordinary. I mean, we've more than recovered, except that there was a drop-off in fixed capital expenditure, which we didn't need. State and local governments start spending money on fixed capital. If that number had been zero, we would have been at around about 10% state final demand. G'day, Lou from Elgas. I've got some great news today for the whole country, but in particular WA. So the GDP number for Australia was released yesterday at 3.3%. Not a big number, but certainly not negative either. So that's pretty good in this environment, particularly when you look at some other countries around the world. But for WA, the story is very positive, I think. So the state final demand was sitting at 4.9. That's a GDP equivalent number. But the really good news was that the amount contributed by household spending, consumption, was 11.7%. So a really strong number. So if there was no other number that contributed to GDP for Western Australia, let's call it, then our growth would have been 11.7. It was brought down a little by a decrease in spending on fixed capital. So both from a state government point of view, a local government point of view, and a private point of view, there was less money invested into assets like, let's say, commercial buildings and plant and equipment. But look, the really good news is that 11.7% increase in consumption demand means that people have got confidence that to the level where they'll go and spend money. And that's great news for business, because what that does is increase the demand for business products generally. We've also seen yesterday that CoreLogic came out with a number of 1.1% for the increase in Perth property prices, which is, let's remember, a 2-month lag. Usually there's about a 2-month lag between a contract and when something settles, and CoreLogic picked those numbers up, so those final numbers up. So I think the market, when I talk to real estate agents, has seen a lot better growth than that, particularly in November. So when we get the January numbers, when the settlements happen, that number will be significantly higher than 1.1. So you couple those things together, and I think we've got a really positive 2021 coming for WA. So let's look forward to it. Have a great Christmas. See you next year.